VC Reality Check. 5 brutally honest lessons for founders.
Hello everyone. Every time I come to Sigma, I first of all come for Olga. She's my dear friend and she's an amazing conference organizer, so big applause to her. Every event is better than the other. So today, I'll be talking from the venture capital perspective and what do founders who are currently fundraising or planning to fundraise need to care about. And the thing is, the reason why I'm doing this keynote is founders love to blame VCs. Every time I meet a founder, I go to an event or just post something on social media, and I'm very active on LinkedIn, so please follow me, I see a bunch of messages and comments. Oh, VCs don't understand this space. They just want to squeeze out the founders. They're here just to make the money. They don't care about the industry, or the narrative don't matter anymore. There's always these blames that VCs don't understand it, and yet founders come to them, they still pitch, and there is still this love-hate relationship. And the reason why a lot of founders blame VCs is they have a very bad misconception that VCs are sitting here, on this wide throne. They're like, who gets the money, who we're funding, who we're not funding. Unfortunately, I wish that would be the case, but VCs are not entitled. They also have bosses. We also have someone to report to, whether that would be our IC, investment committee, or our LPs, that means our investors. We have someone above us who we need to report to and provide good return. Because in the end, when we're thinking about venture capital investment, it's not a charity, it's not a grant. And there are a lot of charity organizations that support young founders and they love giving out grants. What VC business is basically a high-risk loan that you're taking where you're putting your reputation as a collateral. And what does it mean? And again, I was giving this alpha in my previous panel, so you may have heard some of these things. But what is a VC business? VC is not a bank. VC is not someone who is expecting 10% return, that's stock market. Venture capital is not hedge fund that is expecting 30% return. VC business is 100x, 10,000x. VC business is about giving hundreds of project money and expecting at least one of them will do well and they'll have a unicorn. So when you're having this in mind, you understand they're looking for that 10x, 100x project rather than someone's going to do barely something. But before I give you the lessons, I think you're all wondering who the hell I am and why do you need to listen to me? So I think I need to also introduce myself. So my name is Cornelia Medinova, and I'm Chief Ecosystem Officer at Gate.io, as well as Principal at Gate Ventures. I've been investing myself since 2016 when I bought my first Bitcoin at $2,000. And now I think my portfolio is around 60, 70 angel investments, as well as working for a fund. So everything I'm going to be sharing with you is basically what I have learned through my hard sweat of investing myself, and now working for one of the largest exchanges funds. So let's start with mistakes. So again, another very big mistake I see founders make is they do not understand VC dynamics. As I mentioned before, VCs are here to make multipliers. They're here to give those 100x returns to their LPs. And for example, when I, being principal at a venture capital fund, have a project I want my fund to invest in, I need to go and defend this project in front of first our GP and then our IC investment committee. So I need to answer all the questions you are answering to a VC. I'm answering as well because I'm presenting that project for IC to respond. And as I mentioned, it's a not share, it's a high-risk loan. You need to convince me and help me then convince my IC that you're going to do 100x. You know how to take that couple of million or couple of 100,000 you're raising and multiply it on the day of the launch. Because if you cannot tell me that, how will I go to IC and defend it as well? So you need to understand that in the end, if you're not talking to GP or an angel investor, you're working together with a person to present the product. Another very, very big mistake what I'm seeing is a lot of founders are lying to themselves. They come to, they're, let's say, a first-time founder, and they have no other crypto experience. And again, VCs want to find those founders who can do 10x's, 100x's. And you're pitching, and the VCs are asking, where is your traction? Where is your go-to-market? How are you planning to scale? And you don't have these answers. And that is okay, because you might not need a VC. If you're an early stage founder, there are amazing incubators, accelerators. You can get advisors, angel investors who could be your advisor and help you through your journey. So sometimes going to VC should be planned for the later stages. First investment should always be from your friends and family. Then I highly recommend to go either accelerator or incubator. There are a lot of local ones. There's also online. I just had an amazing panel discussion with a person who's doing Startup Weekend. So you can do hackathons as well. But ask yourself, do you really need a VC? Because VCs are usually not giving you the right terms. Like right now in this really bad market, we'll ask huge unlocks on TG. We're going to expect you to get those 10x's on the day of the launch. And if you cannot verify it, that you're going to do it, we might pass on. So sometimes founders just waste their time. Number 3 is you build a project for the sake of the narrative. You don't know how many times I have heard AI agent being pitched to me, let's say during Token 2049 event in Dubai, when this narrative is dying out. You don't know how many ton projects approached me last year where everyone is talking ton. All the narrative investment is amazing for retail. But when you're coming to us and you want our money to be locked in for like 6 months cliff, 12 to 24 months of vesting schedule, we know we're going to only start getting the tokens in 1 and 2 years. So we know that narrative is not going to be hot anymore. If a narrative is hot, it's good for retail. It's good to do token launch. It's not the time for a venture capital investment. You need to be able to predict the narrative before it's hot and then raise it to get investors' attention. And yes, there are a lot of VCs who are right now deploying. I know they're not going to do well. And we have seen the same thing with Ton. We have seen the same thing with DeFi Summer 2021. Let's not trust me. Let's trust data. 2021 DeFi Summer was one of the hottest narratives for VCs to invest in. Everyone was pouring money. There was billions invested in the market. The VCs didn't do well. The VCs didn't cash out because all of these projects crashed and didn't survive the bear market. So if you're raising for a narrative that is already hot, you are too late. So the question is, how do you spot a narrative? You need to think, what are the trends that are going to be hot 1 year from now, 2 years from now, and start building that, or pivot very quickly before some narrative is gonna get hot. Right now, one of the narratives we personally look a lot into is anything stablecoin adjacent. So we're now betting that stablecoin usage is gonna be popping. So there's gonna be a lot of usage from not just retail, but from institutions as well into stablecoins. So anything yield-bearing products, PayFi, is very interesting for us because we're betting this is going to be the hot trend in a year. So you need to start predicting these terms and build for that and raise for it. And I'll give you one more example of AI agents, RWA, and meme coins. So right now, if I go to CoinMarketCap and I look into top 300 best performing tokens, there are already so many meme coins, RWAs, AIs, the hottest narratives. So me, coming from venture capital perspective, I need to think, do we need another AI agent? Do we need another RWA project? Probably not. And if I'm investing early stage, it means I need to still believe in a founder for next 2-3 years. You're too late to the party. Build for the future of the for the future narrative, not the one that's hot right now. And number 4, a lot of founders don't know how to pitch. So I'll give you context. I get around 100 pitches per week in different channels. Would it be social media, would it be email, or would it be just going to conferences? I cannot go through all of them. Even here now, I'm a conference, I'm gonna go down the stage, a lot of you are gonna approach me, start to pitch me, and there's gonna be probably 10, 15 people. I can't listen 15, 20 minutes of each one of you. You need to know how to pitch to investors. And if there is only one slide that you need to take a picture of, is this particular slide, is how you need to pitch to VCs. You need to have basically 6 questions and you need to answer in 1 sentence, not more. If you cannot answer in 1 sentence, maybe it's not the right time for you to pitch to VCs and you need to go back to what? Incubator or accelerator. So number 1, what do you do? Very, very clearly how I'm gonna put you in certain category. Then who is on your team? Here, I'm trying to understand, does your team have a previous track record or experience in particular industry niche? Because if you're coming to me and you're saying, hey, I'm building a PayFi product, but all your life you've been working in, let's say, NFTs, I know you don't have experience. So I wanna know who is the team that is building, because again, let's come back to the first point that I mentioned. We're here looking for 10x's, 100x's. We're not looking for 10% returns. So who is on your team? It has to be team with track record. If you don't have track record, go to accelerators and incubators. Number 3, very clearly, what is your ask? So how much are you raising at what kind of valuation? Does it sound obvious? Yes. I have checked before coming on the stage, my last 10 pitches I've got via emails, 6 out of them didn't have the clear terms visible for me. So they're sending me a pitch without even how much they're asking, what's the valuation. The reason why we need to ask for it is if you're building simple project and you're wanting $100, $200 million valuation, it's probably not going to be good for us and we're probably going to pass. So there is certain valuations we aim for and that needs to be included in your first pitch. Number 4, who is already backing you? Venture capital game is like being popular in high school. If you're being friends with a popular kid, everyone else wants to be friends with you. Same thing in venture capital. If you have other VCs on a cap table, it immediately gives me an indicator that there is someone who I trust in this space who already backed you. And it's a huge bonus. If you don't have anyone on your cap table, maybe go to accelerator, maybe go to incubator, other places where you can start your journey and then go to VCs. And number 5 and number 6 are the key questions. So why will you be successful now? What do you have that no one else has in this space in the current market? If right now you're coming to me with a ton project, I'll be like, ton was hot a year ago, why would I back it now? But if you come with, again, stables, I'll be like, okay, that makes sense. So you need to have some sort of competitive advantage of current trend. And again, I still see founders building metaverse or NFTs, and I'm like, that was 2 years ago, don't build it now, don't waste your time. And number 6, why will you be successful? And here, I'm looking for some sort of competitive edge, some sort of proprietary access that you have that no one else has. And that could be your best friend is the biggest Filipino influencer that's gonna promote you free or charge, or you were part of Ethereum's founding team and Vitalik is gonna back everything you're doing, or you just have an insanely cheap channel to build your community that you're going to be utilizing. It has to be some sort of competitive edge, some sort of nudge that you have that others don't. If you don't have these 6 things or you're struggling to answer it, that's okay. Incubators, accelerators, advisors, work till you go to VCs, because otherwise you're going to be spending your time and it's going to be very, very hard to fundraise. And mistake number 5 is accept feedback and learn from investors, learn from us. We're here to help. Like my everyday headache, when I wake up in the morning, I have only one question. Where will I find this incredible founder? Where will I find this project we can invest in so I can build my track record? It's in my best interest to find where to deploy. And again, this is a very big misconception when I talk to founders. They think VCs don't want to deploy. And they think, again, we don't want to give out money. No, we want to find founders to give money. Right now, there is surplus of capital and not enough good founders. So the most important thing is to be able to work with VCs and learn from them, because ego killed more deals than bad pitches. And what does it mean? I come to conferences and again, people approach me, and because I've been in the space since 2016, I worked with some of the biggest companies in space now, work with one of the large exchanges, maybe I know a thing or two about how crypto works. And then you start asking questions to the founders. So how do you envision this space? How do you think X, Y, Z is going to be done? and they think their baby is the most beautiful one, and then they get so defensive, and they don't want to work on your feedback. I had incredible founders that I met, and I gave them feedback, sometimes uncomfortable feedback, saying, hey, this is not going to work. I've seen this project being done before, and that's why it failed. They go back to the drawing board. They spend 3-6 months changing. They come back to me, and then I invest, because they actually listen. They actually showed me the progress of listening to feedback and implementing. So you need to understand that venture capital is your friend if you put your ego on the side. And probably your biggest question is, so what do actually VCs are looking for in the current market? There are 3 things: traction, access, and execution. So when it comes to traction, it's years of growth, actual user growth, not the ones you're paying airdrop money to stay there and to chat because they're going to get some token, because they actually care about your product. And when I'm talking to founders, I always ask one question. Do they understand the difference between user base and token holders? Because your user base for clients are those who actually going to be using your product, whatever you're building. Are they going to be gamers? Are they going to be those who are using your payment solution? And then token holders, those who might not be your users, but they will believe in the product success. And I always use this example of SpaceX. I think Elon Musk is doing great in terms of as a business, but I'm not going to be the one flying the rocket. Still, it doesn't stop me from investing in him. But you need to understand, if you have a token needs to have utility that is not just APY and governance rights. So you have to show that. You have to show product market fit. What is the narrative that you're building that is really needed? People are ready to pay money to use it. Of course, what is the growth? And if you're building a protocol, how much protocol fees are you generating? And again, these are the figures we can verify. Don't fake the data. We have skipped founders who find out that actually faking data, and you just ruin your relationship. If you're not there yet, get feedback, build a little bit more, come back. Then, of course, access. What are the partnerships you're building from technical perspective, from licensing, and maybe you have access to Web2 celebrities, Web2 influencers. Right now, we see more traction and value from Web2 influencers than from Web3. And of course, execution. In the end, good hustling mentality and execution will outperform anything else. So you need to have a very clear roadmap. If you're raising a 1 million, how are you going to take that 1 million and make it into 100 million? Who is your team? What's their track record? If you don't have a track record, go build it. Sometimes I see founders just from college building the first product and then struggling to raise. And I'm like, go work for one of the top companies. Get experience, get a relationship. Make it easier for yourself to raise later. And of course, grit and resilience. Because in the end, those founders who hustle, they perform the best. And with that, I hope you're going to be building well. I'm going to be reachable through my LinkedIn and Twitter as well. And we're now deploying capital, mostly stablecoins, PayFire, and infrastructure. So if you have something interesting, my DMs are open. Thank you, everyone.